Hey folks, Tom Busby here, and I tell you, there's a high degree of risk involved in trading, and past performance is not indicative of future results. But one of the fascinating topics, investment topics, is Bitcoin. Now, I want to put out a disclaimer out there. I don't know a lot about the details, but however, I have an unbelievable, uncanny ability to get in and on this and make money, and I just think that I wanted to share some of that knowledge with you, because I find that sometimes you find something like this. We don't know how long it's going to last, but there really a lot of forecasts for a lot higher prices, and from what I read, I believe it. But do your own due diligence. But it's a fascinating topic. In my opinion, everybody ought to own a little bit. If, in fact, they make it a strategic asset, that's going to make the price go up. You've got a real seasonal big push coming April, if you go back and study the charts on that. So there's a real reason that you might want to take a look and learn a little bit about it. Now, a brief history of Bitcoin. It was created by Satoshi Nakamoto in 2009. In 2010, they had the first transaction. It was a Bitcoin pizza, probably the most expensive, looking back at what they paid for, it's probably the most expensive pizza in history. 2011, price hit $1. Early exchanges started appearing. 2013, they had the first major surge, growing merchant adoption. That was the first stage. 2014 to 17, you had the expansion of the ecosystem of Bitcoin, the legal clarity, what it was. More people became knowledgeable of it, and rising institutional interest. 2017 beyond, Bitcoin reaches what I call mainstream. That's about when I got involved years ago. Somebody showed me how to open a Coinbase account. I opened it, and I liked it because it traded 7 days a week. You know, it's had significant price growth, and global interest continues to grow in blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Now, Bitcoin Pizza Day was May 22nd, 2010. 2 pizzas were purchased for 10,000 Bitcoin. Multiply that out times the current $100,000 price of Bitcoin. It is the most expensive pizzas in history. At the time, it was $41 for those pizzas. But that gives you some comparison of what's happened since 2010. Very interesting fact. The way I was introduced was through that company called Coinbase. It was early adoption of how to trade it. And I remember opening the account and trading Coinbase or trading Bitcoin. First, I went to Litecoin, which I thought, well, I'll use my silver approach. You know, poor man's silver is the rich man's gold. And I went into Litecoin. Well, I was in that and messed with that for about 3 years. Then I realized that I need to get out of that and get into mainstream Bitcoin. I'd watch it over the weekend, notice patterns. That's what I do. And I know that were interesting to me, and I became more interested and put more money in. About 2 years ago, I made my first big hit with the rally and sold everything out. And I was happy. I took my account down to about 5% of what I had in there, and had real money in my bank account because of it. Now, once I started reading about the event called halving, I got interested again. I started building a position. And by the way, I think the best way to invest in Bitcoin is decide how much you want to commit and do it over time. Like I do a constant weekly purchase of it. It's the way I'm doing it right now. Read about Bitcoin halving on Coinbase.com here, and you can find out all the details. But it's a very interesting event that happens on Bitcoin that people trade. And you look at the charts on it, they trade it. Over the years, Bitcoin's become mainstream. Mara was my first favorite Bitcoin stock. I made a bunch of money off that stock. And Riot was another one. Now, there's other ETF opportunities. Right now, I'm currently looking at a stock called Bitto. I bought it at 5. It's up about 26. Keep your eye on it. I think it's got higher to go. Now, some of my favorite opportunities have expanded as my knowledge has grown. Bitcoin. Coinbase stock is an interesting one. They came public and went in a bear market, and now they've come out of that. I think they've got higher prices in store. And this stock here, MSTR, really got my attention because of a man named Michael Saylor. I listened to his podcast on it. Taken away with how intuitive and smart this guy was. This company here, you ought to read the story. It's a pretty interesting story. The problem with it is highly leveraged with Bitcoin. Even 5 shares bought at the wrong time will cost you, as I found out. So be very careful with the stock. But from a general perspective, it does give you a viewpoint what the market is thinking. The other stock that interests me a lot is this one, this leverage on leverage. In fact, they just split it, and it's not for the faint of heart, as it's 2 times leverage. I'm going to probably spend my time focusing on MSTU, as that stock, I believe, offers a huge upside. But the wrong side, again, is dangerous. Now, I'm a trader and willing to take the risk. I'll put that out there for you. But if you trade options on MSTR, I'd recommend trading option spreads. That way, you're overpaying for the one that you're buying, but you're getting overpaid for the one you sell, which makes it come out equal to you as a trader. So I use spreads. Now, here's the price history since 2009. I tell you, look at that chart. Forget about Bitcoin. Don't you want to know about a stock or a ticker that looks like that? I know I do, and I would learn more and more about it as the time goes on. Now, the Bitcoin futures is another thing that I've traded. It's traded on the CME. I'm a futures trader. I like trading Bitcoin futures. You put up about $2,000, and it's a nice trade, and it does trade very well, fairly liquid, and getting more liquid by the day. It's something I watch, but it's really a good way to introduce yourself to futures. Go to CME.com and learn more about that. The changes are coming about. The president has embraced it. The president-elect's embraced it, and he is talking about making a strategic reserve. He's going to have a Bitcoin, I guess, czar or somebody to sort of keep it moving. I'm very interested to see if it becomes that strategic asset. Now, the podcast I told you about was by Michael Saylor. It's a long and will take some time to go through, but it's really encouraging. I'd like everyone to take time to review it. There it is. You can get it, download it when you get it, and listen to it over a couple of days. But listen to this guy. I think the guy knows what he's talking about. And I've been around a long time. And one last thing I want to tell you. I created a Coin Beta Telegram. If you would like to join that, then send me an email at tbuzztnt@gmail.com. Send me an email there, and I'll get you added. No cost. You can watch what we're talking about as the subject expands over time. So as I always say, one more time, I'll see you on the flip side.